Everybody, welcome back. We just saw Gladiator 2, Commodus's Revenge, and boy, was this movie interesting. Let's talk about it. So going into this movie, my expectations were super low because I love Gladiator 1. Russell Crowe, 5-star Academy Award winning movie, Ridley Scott at the peak levels of Ridley. But as of the last 10 years or so, Ridley Scott's movies have been hit or miss. Some of them are dog shit, but some of them are really good. Let's get into some of the things I liked about the movie before I crap all over it.
You have something in you. Rage. Never let it go.
Let's talk about the main protagonist, Paul Mescal, who plays Lucius, and he's got some big shoes to fill as the lead of a Gladiator movie. So Paul Mescal plays Lucius, who, if you remember from the first movie, Lucius is Marcus Aurelius' grandson, and he is the heir apparent. Character-wise, he's very different because Lucius, as a child, was very sweet. He was very curious. He wanted to learn everything. He had a thing for history and learning about gladiators. He was a very, very interesting kid. This version of Lucius is very jaded, very upset. He is just resentful and angry at the world for some reason I don't really know.
You're mad at your dad, not at me. I forgive you.
I am. I hate my father.
However, I will say this guy is very physical. He had a lot of great action scenes. He's ripped. He's shredded. He's shredded. The problem is following Russell Crowe as the main character. That is a very, very hard thing to do. And obviously, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Russell Crowe was far better as the lead. You just can't beat him. He has so much gravitas, so much weight on screen. Like you are drawn in to all his nuances and subtle movements. You just can't beat him.
Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
Let's get into the main guy I came to see, and that's Pedro Pascal. He plays General Acacius. He's kind of been leading the Roman army across the world, conquering one after another. He is a war hero. He's beloved by Rome.
I claim this city for the glory of Rome.
Feels like Pedro can do no wrong. He can play an astronaut, a cowboy. He can use guns and shotguns and swords. He can be a daddy. Wow. He can be anything. This guy is so talented. He is one of the best actors right now, and I'm so excited for The Last of Us Season 2. By far, the most interesting character in the movie was Denzel Washington's character, Macrinus. He's like this seedy, plotting dominus of this gladiator house. He trains gladiators. He buys them, sells them. He does all that, but he has an eye for the Senate and raising up in the ranks. Much different than Proximo. At first, Gladiator Proximo was more about the honor and glory and the crowd that the Colosseum brings. But in this movie, Denzel Washington's character is all about power and being flashy and having the best of the best and rising in the ranks politically. These three actors together were amazing on screen. The thing I really most enjoyed was that you're back in ancient Rome. You're back at the Colosseum. You're back in these throne rooms. You're back in the wheat fields that you're stroking as you're walking by. You're stroking. You hear the gladiator lady singing in the background. Her voice takes you on an outer body experience. It's pure magic. This movie isn't perfect, but let's talk about some of the negatives that didn't really work for me. So the film had this really murky, wet feeling and just felt so sad and depressed. There was absolutely no hope, no sunshine, no sunsets, no sunrises. It felt very depressed, and I just felt kind of resentful for the main character. Sadly, some of the things that didn't work for me were the action scenes. There's something about Gladiator 1 that felt very realistic. You know, the tension was there. It was very, very practical. But in this movie, you have monkeys, lions, tigers, sharks, rhinos. You have all kinds of CGI creatures. And it just didn't add to the tension that the first one brought. Because the first one just had a couple of tigers. And that tiger scene, you know, you were on the edge of your seat. This one, not so much. Everybody's going to wonder how they got the water and the sharks into the Colosseum. But from what I understand, they really did those kinds of things. They had giraffes, they had water, they had fire, they had all kinds of spectacle. And it's pretty intense that they were able to pull all this off. Third act is where it really lost me, guys. There was just way too much going on, and it brought you to this disbelief. You're like, no, come on. There's no way that character did that. It says here that Joseph Quinn was one of the emperors, and that's the guy from Stranger Things, right? Yeah. Him and his brother were the emperors at this time, and they felt like absolute cartoons. Like they felt so silly, and they were just screaming and yelling, and I guess they were supposed to have some sort of mental issues because all they wanted to see was blood and violence. It was just like, where is the leadership? You're supposed to be running this world. You're supposed to be the emperor. I didn't feel that at all. So in the third act, there was just way too much going on. You had these crazy lunatic characters mixed with a lot of things that were being forced for time's sake. It was like, boom, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. I'm taking over this. I'm taking over that. This has got to go. This character's got to go. There's just way too much happening, where the first 2 acts of the movie felt very slow and well paced. The third one, it was just like a climax after another after another. I'm like, geez, I need a freaking break from all these climaxes. Am I happy this movie was made? Yes. Was I happy to see it? Yes. But it didn't really add to the experience that the first one gave me, which was pure elation. Man, super drama, great acting. It took me back to ancient Rome. This one felt more like a 2024 cash grab. Like, it felt very modern in terms of the CGI, the acting, the story. I was just, it was off-brand for me. This was definitely off-brand Coca-Cola. And that's why I'm giving Gladiator 2...
No, don't do it!
a B-. I'm happy I saw this movie. It was a good experience. It was just sort of a letdown. Guys, don't forget to comment below. What did you think about Gladiator 2? Is it a cash grab? Is it necessary to make these sequels 25 years later? Let me know. Guys, if you like this video, please hit subscribe and the like button. Turn on the notification bell. That way you stay up to date with me and the latest videos and the ups and downs of the movie-going experience. It's going to be a wild ride moving forward. Trust me.